Joining Valley up the stage, of course, is the CEO from the Cambodian Broadcasting Service, Dave Omer, once again. We also have the technical lead for media and entertainment at Arista Networks, Albert Faust. A round of applause, please, for our panels. We also have our AI products and solutions lead from MediaCore. We have Tim Shu. And finally, we have Vice President for Sales over at APAC and EMEA for Harmonic. We have Tony Berthod.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our first panel of today on AI's impact on broadcasting. As we gather here today at the Asia Tech Week Singapore, we embark on a journey to explore the transformative power of the AI in reshaping the landscape of broadcasting. From content creation to audience engagement, AI has revolutionized the way we consume, interact, and also create media. And today we have gathered a group of esteemed experts on this industry to give us more insights and experiences on how AI is influencing the world of broadcasting and video streaming. Through the expertise and perspectives, we aim to unravel the opportunities, challenges, and implications of this rapidly evolving technology. So sit back and engage your mind, and let's also dive in this very interesting and very exciting topic, I would say. And we will leave some room for Q&A at the end as well. So as you listen to this discussion, please note your question down because we also have limited time for the Q&A as well. My name is Vali Pomajak, a CEO of Econox Laos. We run the one and only media platform in Laos that focus on environmental conservation and to level up the voice of the young generations on how to protect their own planet. And I'm excited to be your moderator for today's discussion. Without further ado, I'm delighted to introduce our panel of today. First off, we have Dev Olmer. Of course, you have listened to a very insightful and very great presentation of the day. So Dev, with over 20 years of experience in nexus of technology and entertainment, he is a media innovator, transforming how consumers engage with content across various platforms. As a CEO of Cambodia's leading TV broadcaster, he is pioneering changes in TV entertainment. Dev had previously been the CCO for Indonesia's largest film and TV studio, managing director for one of the Southeast Asia's largest telco groups, media consultant, public speaker, and occasional actor as well. Wow. We've also authored the bestseller, The Innovator Extinctions, no? Excited to also hear more about the book as well, and has proven the record in product innovation and business transformation. And next off, we also have Albert Faust, sorry. So Albert is highly experienced broadcast technology professional based in Canada. Over the past 30 years, he has worked with both broadcasters and manufacturers, constantly pushing the boundaries of what is possible when it comes to combining information technology and content creation. His work is bringing advanced infrastructure to news, sports, and entertainment productions has been crucial in ensuring the success of some of the most watched events in Canadian television. Today, Albert works alongside the team of broadcast and subject matter experts in Arista Networks, dedicated to ensuring the companies maintains a strong presence in broadcast technology space. Together, they're focused on helping the industry navigate the challenges that come with the move of the IP networks. And next we have Tim Su. Tim Su is the accomplished executive leader of more than 15 years experience across technology, AI, data science, business development, and solution products design. Proven track record of building data science and analytics-driven solutions and products and turning them into real business value. Welcome, team. And last but not least, we have Tony Bacto. Tony is a Vice President, Sales Service of Asia and Pacific, Europe, Middle East, and African at Harmonic. The more than 20 years of experiences in broadcast industry. Tony has been instrumental in helping customers successfully launch new and advanced video services, leveraging the latest technology to deliver the unrivaled user experience while implementing operational efficiencies. Previously, Tony was the Vice President, Sales and Services of APAC at Thomson Video Networks, led sales in Southern Europe for Taos Broadcast, and developed the Greater China market for Grass Valley as the Director of Sales for Northeast Asia. Now, Tony Bacto is living in Singapore, and holds a master degree of engineering from École des Mines de Nantes. Sorry for my French. So yeah, I think it's very interesting to dive into our topic of today. So without further ado, I think we are getting to the point of the first question for all of the speakers. Do you think AI is more of the opportunities or threats when it comes to broadcasting and video streaming industry? So feel free to go ahead if you're ready.
I can start if you want. So good morning, everyone. It's very good to see so many friends and familiar faces in the audience. I mean, to me, definitely, artificial intelligence and machine learning, it's an opportunity. And I want to insist on one thing, is that it is a reality. Dave, you were saying during your presentation that it was important to start 5 years ago with artificial intelligence and machine learning. We have many customers who have already started. And I think it's helping in two main areas. One is pretty obvious. It's improving the operational efficiency. And I'm sure we will discuss that. And Dave, you touched base in your presentation, but helping in automating workflows for editing, for video compression, for delivery. But in addition to that, and I think it's very important in terms of opportunity, artificial intelligence have helped us and customers to actually enhance the quality of experience, to launch and enable new type of services. So definitely the answer to your question from my point of view, it's an opportunity. It's a technology that goes very fast, that creates a lot of new content as well. So Dave, you mentioned it, and I think it's important to make sure that this technology is well used. But definitely for me, it's an opportunity. It helps both on the optimization of the operations and also on the creation of new services.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Let me ask a question to my AI assistant.
Please.
So I think that is the way how AI is transforming our life and work.
Right.
I believe everyone started our work or questions to any of the AI assistant being, okay, I don't want to name the product, but I guess that's how I see, this is how we are assisted by AI as of today. So to me, definitely that is a great opportunity. I think Tony has mentioned, Dave has showed, a lot of good examples how the content creation has been revolutionized by AI. And even today, you can see while we are talking, we do have a live captioning displaying.
That's right.
Think about that a couple of years back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, to the broadcasting companies or industries, right? We are actually constantly adopting AI. For example, the subtitling, captioning, and now even today we have the live captioning, right? So this is basically giving a lot of new opportunities for us to adopt and also to improve, right? But I think great power always comes with, great responsibility and also great race. Because we also have to realize that, there are some unanswered questions around the governance space. I think we're probably going to touch that in a later section. But to me, definitely is a great opportunity. And I love my AI assistant. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest benefit I see is in storytelling. Like, this is going to enable storytelling like we haven't seen before. There was always gatekeepers getting the money to get a pilot together, limited streaming and abilities, but now I can tell my story without a lot of expensive technology, and I can, do that kind of thing. So that's an incredibly positive change, that we can hear stories from people who didn't have voices before. The issue is it does empower other people to tell stories that and have a broader reach than they did before. And so you have to balance it. Like all tools, it can be used for good or bad.
Yeah, you ask, is this an opportunity or a threat? Actually, I think that's the wrong question. The answer is already, it is. Whether we love it or we hate it, it is. And especially in the technology world, we've seen tremendous turmoil happen when there are new shifts in technology. You mentioned, I think, digital came around, and digital music was just upended almost overnight. And the whole industry had to shift. And there are people that are left behind, and there are people that jump ahead. New entrants come in. I just saw last week an example that really made me sit and think, because we're really wrapped up in technology. We think about speeds and feeds and new chips and all of this. In 1859, do you know what the largest industry was on the planet? It was whaling. People getting in boats and hunting whales. And they'd bring back whale oil and blubber and bones. And by 1900, that industry lost 90% of its size because of oil. In 1859, the US was producing about 2,000 barrels of oil a year. By 1900, they were producing 2,000 barrels of oil every 5 minutes. So it's normal for the world to undergo disruption. And where the biggest mistake any of us could do is to think that, oh, I'm just going to do business the same way I've always done it. And captioning and subtitling is enough. Automatic editing of my images is enough. No, it's going to be seismic, it's going to be huge, and we have to be on top of it, or we will be left behind.
Thank you very much. And of course, I think the change is here all the time, and we encounter change all the time as well. And it's about adapting. It's about welcoming the change, which is the new technology, AI, machine learning, which is linked to also my next question to Dave. But other speakers also feel free to add in if you feel like to. So as the media innovator, and of course your book, it's also talking a lot about extinction, about how to adapt, how to survive in the industry. How can you suggest, or how have you leveraged the AI technology to stay updated or to stay ahead of the curve in this industry?
I'll just speak for a moment and turn it over to you guys, but it's just basically training, teaching, learning, making it part of the DNA of the company. Force it. Everyone needs to be using AI in every single department. Figure it out, come back, report out, how did you use it? We have bi-weekly meetings across all departments. What did you do today? What have you done last week? Just to make sure that they're exercising and using the tools. Don't know, we end up, wow, we could use this, and we start implementing. So that's my words of wisdom.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's being aware. We make assumptions about technology each time it comes along. Okay, that's what it does. Okay, that's what it does. The stuff that's being worked on and seen, I've had the privilege of seeing, is beyond what we've utilized before. So knowing how to use it. I mean, each time technologies come along, we find new ways to use it. It's not just making what we're doing faster. It's not just optimizing things. It's new workflows and new, like I get back to storytelling or creating a virtual elements and all this kind of stuff. We can't even imagine what it is, so we have to know it. And what I mean by that is you have to use it. You have to keep learning, and the new ideas will come together.
Well, and I think when you look at the industry right now, again, it's adopting significantly artificial intelligence and machine learning. I agree with Dave, it's you are in or you are not in and you are left behind. That's very important. I always like to rationalize things and see where are the applications. So usually when we look at how we apply artificial intelligence or machine learning in the media workflows today, I secure three, let's say, categories. The first one is definitely on the content creation and media management. So you speak about storytelling, it's dynamic narratives, it's automatic scripting, it's the capability to generate content automatically, to manage the content automatically. So that's definitely an area that is extremely important today, a real impact on the industry. The second category that is very important from my point of view, it's really the part that is related to the operational efficiency. So you spoke about cost cutting. It's part of it. It's a reality. But coming back to the first question you asked, I don't see it as a threat because in fact, it's allowing our customers, media companies, to basically optimize their workflows, make sure that they use artificial intelligence for repetitive tasks and repurpose their dollar, their resources to tasks that are a lot more value generating. And I think this is really important. So that's really a category that is fundamental. And the third category, it's more about the user engagement and the quality of experience. That's really where artificial intelligence and machine learning right now is enabling new types of services. We spoke about sports before, right? That's definitely creating a lot of additional user engagement, interactivity, using virtual assistants, using the possibility to have interaction with ChatGPT and creating highlights of content automatically. So there is really very good opportunities in these three types of categories, right? So that's how we basically select and develop technologies and apply them in the different workflows to help our customers. Yes. That's something very important.
Yeah, I think just want to add one more point, which is, I think to those who are not from Singapore, actually MediaCorp is Singapore's national media network. So one of the mission for us is actually driving, let's say the public media service, which is to say, to drive the content accessibility and also inclusivity. Meaning, how do we want to give the content to already different categories of audiences, even they're having disabilities, whether they are not able to see, not able to hear. So we do want to have different type of content to help them to also access to our content. For example, captioning is one of them, sign language. I mean, nowadays AI make it easier as well. We're also trying to explore, for example, how do we use AI, like AI for good, or how do we using AI to, let's say, preserve our heritage. For example, if you think about Singapore, there's a lot of different local dialects. If you look at the mainstream AI services, the text-to-speech, speech-to-text are all focused on the main language. I mean, like Mandarin, English, Malay, Tamil, but not yet on the so-called dialects. But that indeed is our heritage. And we see there is a great opportunities for us to type on AI, making all those, impossibles become possible. We can make a AI voice of those dialects so that we can basically continue that heritage as a national media network. I think that's also quite important on top of those, the general, content creation and audience engagement.
Right, thank you. And it's very great to hear that AI can be utilized to make the media, the video broadcasting more inclusive, no? And indeed, it's more of the opportunity if you know how to adapt and how to learn using the AI. But I also would like to come back to my previous questions in terms of people. I mean, like, of course, we should train ourselves all the time, but is there any hardship for people in the organization to adapt? I mean, give the real examples. And if yes, how can you assist the people in your organization to keep up with the AI technology? Especially the people who have a long history, a long experience in the traditional, I would say, type of broadcasting. Anyone want to elaborate on this?
One of the things about that is training. We've always had training programs, and someone creates a generic training program to teach something. The interesting thing is AI can be used to teach AI. And what I mean by that is everyone learns differently. And the investment in training programs and all that kind of stuff has dictated we kind of have a generic, this is how you're going to learn a topic. And I've seen some stuff in some preliminary stages of being able to gauge people's response and retention and start being able to train them differently so that they can capture their imagination or capture the way that they learn. And I think that's going to be one of the keys to this, because I started this industry when like one person in the office had a computer. And now we've gone to those, and those people that I don't need a computer, I don't need to learn this, we're at a disadvantage as we rapidly computerized our environments. And so in the same way, if we utilize it properly, we can engage better.
But I think, so I fully agree. I mean, Albert, I think it's very important, the training, using the AI tools to actually keep the team up to date. But that's leading me to one point is I think this is evolving so fast that you cannot do everything yourself. So it's extremely important when you are starting to deploy artificial intelligence and machine learning to not work alone and to involve partners. I mean, if you look at what we do as a technology vendor, we have artificial intelligence and machine learning techs that we develop ourselves. But there are multiple technologies that we bring from partners. Comb AI, Speedio, ContentWise for the recommendation engine. We work with Ignify. We work with multiple companies that we integrate in our workflows. And I think this is really important because you cannot be specialized in everything, but you need to enable an ecosystem where you can actually use the AI and ML tools when you need them. And I think this is really important. And that helps also to keep everybody up to date and learning new things along the way when we deploy these ecosystems. So that's very important. Don't work alone. I think that's really the message. That's a very important point.
Thank you very much.
You know, for our staff, I just have to say that when you look at the impact on real people, I view it internally as we are making our people better. We're making them smarter. We're making them able to adapt. My biggest fear is that they're going to jump over to another company once they know all of this and once they've used it in their own workflow. It's one thing to train, but it's something else to do. And so we've adopted what I call the crawl, walk, run approach, where to this department, just do this. Just try this week, see how it works out for you. Before we say, this is your job, you need to do this. And let them find out on their own, because as you said, this changes every single day, if not every week. And they need to know the tools, not the solutions. People who are in the creative business pretty much know what they're trying to do. They're trying to, entertain and educate, and it's just that the tools change. And if they can see a success, gee, this made my life easier today, then they're more apt to do it again. So, and you mentioned one thing I think was really important about the cultural impact that's exceptionally strong in a country like Cambodia, where it has a very, very unique local culture, different from Thailand, different from Malaysia, as most countries in Southeast Asia are. Yet we're able to take something that's as universal as, say, Master Chef, that's made for the Britain market, and then it comes on over, well, we have Master Chef Cambodia, and it's very cultural. We're cooking up frogs and hearts and all kinds of temptations that I would never have thought of. So we're able to customize and target specifically a market with an international product for a local market.
Yeah, I think the question really is, to me, is even harder not to adopting AI than adopting AI. Because AI is everywhere, embedded in every tools that we use every day. So I think I resonate with Tony as well that building a strong ecosystem so that you can also work with your partners, focusing on not only the implementing the AI, but also reshaping, reskilling, and upskilling your workforces. I think that's very important.
Thank you very much for the insights. And especially, let me also share a little bit. I think in Laos, we are quite a young country to AI. Not much of the people are using AI now, but young people. I think young people are very excited to have their hands on AIs, especially we're working with the young journalists. They use AI all the time, which leads me to the next questions to Tim. No? About the ethics. So talking about AIs, we come, across also one of the issues, which is the journalists are using AIs to create contents and more. What would be the ethical considerations should the broadcasters and the journalists have to keep in mind when using AI technologies in the content production process?
Yeah, thanks for that question. I think it's super important. I think if you look around, there's a lot of discussions around AI governance. I think that's super important. That before even you started to talk about implementing your AI, I think the governance is always a very strong piece that you have to be clear. So what is your principles when you are trying to adopting AI in the different spaces like journalists creating the content, or even the production processes, right? So I think I can reference to what we do in MediaCorp, that we already created our own AI governance policy, which covers a few, let's say, pointers. For example, we always have to respect the copywriting and IP, right? Basically, we have to know what are the AI models you are using, what kind of data it trained the model, what is the output, and from there, you have to have a human in the loop. Make sure that you can do a fact check. You make sure that you basically knows where to apply this content that generated by AI. And you also have to be very clear that you have to declare or disclosure that the use of AI whenever it is appropriate. The other thing is that, as mentioning, we have to continue to train our staff that they have to be aware of the good side and the downside of AI, how to use AI in a more responsive way, rescaling them, upscaling them so that they are able to do more, effective works, not basically concerning about, say, oh, I'm going to be, somehow affected by the AI implementation. I think those are the very important principles, which we are seeing there are many more governance initiatives around releasing some of the guidelines. I think those are the things that we, one of the learnings that we, as a broadcaster, or even from a publisher point of view, because the information you give is very, very critical. Your, accountability, your credibility is actually all depends on what are the content that you are delivering, and also how the consumers or the audiences are basically perceiving that. I think that's very important.
Yeah, I mean, just one point, Tim, that is very correct. It's the copyright check. It's also the capability, indeed, as you said, to inform the audience that part of the content or the content is AI generated. So interestingly, we do see an emergence of new service providers who are actually here to basically do the fact check, but also creating technologies that basically helps to identify whether AI has been used for the audio generation or for the video generation. And I think that's very important because it will help broadcasters like MediaCorp to actually flag and disclose precisely whether AI is used or not. And I think it's a respect for the audience, and it's very important in the guidelines to actually have this tool deployed and help to actually monitor. It's a completely new service, obviously. Yeah. So it's an emergence of a new type of technology and a new type of service. Yes.
Yeah, to me personally, it's not so much the ethics of AI, it's the ethics of what we're doing. Before AI come along, we cut fact-checking departments. We became more about entertaining and getting more eyeballs on screen by telling people what they want to hear instead of necessarily what's real. So that's not AI. That's our ethics of entertaining and what's our responsibility that we put out. And so, yeah, to me, it's, AI is not the threat. It's what we're doing as a society that we really always, that's where ethics need to be.
Yeah, I don't think it's a question of plagiarism versus using an editor. If something is just helping me and I'm creating better, but I'm not stealing IP from someone else, then what's the problem with that? I'm getting smarter. I don't have to disclose, for example, that I used PowerPoint versus Keynote. But okay, to be fair, most of my images were generated by AI.
The keyword is appropriate, right?
Yeah.
Always need to, but
So to your point, I think that's the more important one, which is, are we doing the right things? Are we being ethical? I mean, I don't really necessarily care if one of our reporters had his article generated by AI, as long as he should be more afraid of it than I am, because if I find out, I'm not sure why I need him anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think over time, we're all going to sort this out. And it'll sort out for us if we're not taking advantage of it.
It's not the tool, it's really how we use the tool. That's definitely the case.
Thank you very much. And especially, I think we tap a little bit on the ethics on choosing the content for the viewers or for the people who would love to hear more about the stories. And personalize the contents is also one of the considered the advantage of using AIs, which our speakers also have a touch on it, which also leads to our next question for Albert about using the IP networks in broadcasting. So maybe can you also tell us more about the role of how do you see AI is playing in enhancing management and optimization of these networks, and how to use the AIs for assisting broadcasting in personalizing contents and engaging with viewers?
Well, I mean, AI, we have transitioned major parts of our industry in broadcasting to IP, and we put them on networks, and we trust our network administrators not to break it. Unfortunately, our tools didn't adapt very quickly in terms of managing networks. And so in network management AI, being able to stop someone, don't type that line because you're going to take down whatever, being able to manage networks better, more resiliently, which we have to do within some of these very large data centers who never want to go down. So our way we manage networks, we use AI to proactively defend against bad behavior of people touching the network or people trying to come into your network, where you can see patterns of traffic going, okay, that shouldn't be happening. So AI assistant in terms of being able to watch what's going on in the network and how it's activated, that benefits all IP networks, whether it's broadcasting or not. When it comes to broadcasting, IP has opened the door. I mean, it used to be very linear, this part never touched this part, never touched this part. And then once it left the plant, well, that's done. Networks now can go all the way to the person watching and how they're consuming and all that kind of stuff. And that data that's across there is where we can use AI to be much more predictive of what's going on and that kind of thing. So that's where, AI gives us the ability to take this massive amount of data and be able to create something more resilient with it.
Right, but do you think it also have the possibility to lead to the bias in terms of the, like content that the viewers receive, or maybe like other type of?
Well, I mean, it does come to what's, it is very much a majority consumption drives the revenues. But the fact is that we've made it much cheaper. And so more voices can actually be told. You can tell your story with your phone and posting it somewhere, and if you can create, from that kind of stuff, you have a voice. But when it comes to, mass media and mass sports and this kind of stuff certainly has more eyeballs, and that bias is directed by people, not AI.
Thank you. Anyone want to add on this?
Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, the transformation that you are mentioning, I mean, moving to IP and using AI for IP, we do have the same. I mean, when you look at the industry right now, you have multiple transformation going at the same time, right? I mean, transformation from broadcast to streaming. I mean, Dave, you mentioned it during your presentation. You have the transformation from traditional appliance-based deployment on-prem to cloud. You have the transformation to IP. Many of those transformations are actually happening jointly with the use of AI and the transformation towards AI, definitely. And again, for me, it's not really, the tool itself. It's more how we use the tool to actually help media companies to operate better. And I think it applies to IP, it applies to the transformation to cloud delivery, it applies to transformation to streaming. There are tools that really help us to enhance, right? That's the reality, yes.
Thank you. And since you have answered the question, the next question is actually for Tony. No? So given your experience in launching new video services, how do you think AI can enhance your user experiences in broadcast industry and while improving operational efficiencies, like you have already mentioned?
I mean, exactly as you say in this question, I think the two benefits really of AI as we see it today, it's on one side, the operational efficiency improvement. So really, kind of making sure that tasks that are very simple, very repetitive, we use AI to make them, and we repurpose the resources or the dollars we were using before to do something that is more value generating. So that's very, very important. And the second point, I was saying that at the beginning, it's really using artificial intelligence to enable new type of services or to improve the quality of experience. And I can take two, let's say, very concrete examples that are, I think, good because they illustrate both benefits. The first one is something that we have been doing with customers for about 5 years. It's to use machine learning to optimize video compression algorithm. So it's very core technology, and it seems like that very simple, but the benefit is very important. What it does is basically you deliver the same picture quality, but at a much lower bitrate. So you can save 25%, 50% bitrate. So there is an obvious benefit of using AI here is that you will save cost on your content delivery network, on your CDN. And I'm sure a lot of you in the room are paying like big bill on CDN every month. So if you can save 25 or 50%, that's very significant. You save cost on your storage as well. So that's the first benefit. But the second benefit, the second impact is that because you will reduce the bitrate of what you deliver, you will be able to reach a wider audience in a region with higher picture quality or higher profile. You will reduce the buffering at the beginning of your video. You will reduce the rebuffering. So by just using one tool that helps the video compression performance, you basically save cost and you improve the quality of experience. So that's one very good example. And again, it's not new. We have been implementing that with customers for about 5 years. Some have savings that are closer to 25%. We have savings for some customers close to 50%. It has a very significant impact. So that's the first example I wanted to give. And another one that is probably a bit simpler, and I'm sure, Tim, you can comment on that, is what we do for sports and the automatic generation of highlights. So, when you watch a football game, at the end of the football game, you can access highlights of 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Still today, a lot of that is generated manually, right? So you have people catching the content, editing on the fly, and repurposing. By using artificial intelligence, you have two benefits. First of all, you automate the workflow, you optimize your cost of operation. But secondly, you do it a lot faster. And so typically you can do real time during the event. And so you can repurpose content while you watch the content. You can link that to OpenAI or ChatGPT and have a timeline that goes along with the game. So it's very, very beneficial. So these are two concrete examples that can be enabled today, right? It's a reality. And I know for the highlights you are, yeah.
Yes, thanks, Tony. I think definitely, I think maybe I've used one word is the attention. Attention matters here, right? It's also trying to providing AI is able to help us to providing a different type of content for different type of audiences. As Tony was mentioning, even in the sports world, we can see that AI is able to help us to efficiently create different type of content. So 3 minutes highlight, 5 minutes highlight, just the highlight of goal, highlight of save, right? All kind of different, type of content. You can do a real time even matching or recommending to the different type of audiences, which is important to attract their attention, especially now we are dealing with all different kind of the younger generations, the Gen Alpha. They have a lot of different options. They are no longer just to choose what channels to watch, but they are able to decide or choose, select what are the content they want to watch or even interact with. I think that's important. So how to get that attention and how to basically generating the hyper personalized content using AI. I think that's very important, and I think AI has made that more easily.
Thank you. I think we have limited time, less time left, but we are okay for one question from the audience. Please.
Hi, my name is Anne, and thank you for all the sharing. I really appreciate a lot because I'm a content creator. So this is also a bigger concern I have right now. So my question today is, if you say that AI will take over the podcasting, for example, right now I'm almost all my audience engaged through live stream with me. I've been live stream for the last 6 years, right? And if AI can take over my job, which is can respond to my audience better and can do things better than me, like higher education than me, or so on and so forth. So what the advice you will give to the content creator like me right now would facing the, just say the lag is for the next 3 years, I still able to show my personality, telling stories, still connect with them. But after that, like the video you just showed, just goosebump to me because it's just exactly. So I have in-house AI, which is as good as me right now. The voice almost accurate as my voice. So if people just listen through podcasts, they cannot tell is that AI talking interview to my guest or I interview to my guest. That's how scary was that. And it concern to me right now that people may use that to fake information, sell wrong thing, do like you say ethical stuff. What advice you would give to the content creator like me?
Okay, I'll jump in for a second. So first of all, everything that you said is specific and important to you remains. It will always be there. That personality, that passion, that knowledge that you bring to the table. All I say to you is, in the same way that maybe you want to learn a different language. Well, AI can do that for you. They can take your voice and do it in Vietnamese, do it in Malay, do it in Bahasa. There you go. So you can instantly have access to multiple languages. It's still your personality, still your passion. You want to speak about another topic. What do you do today? You go off and learn about it. Well, sure, do that. But you have tools available to you so you can learn about it very, very quickly, as opposed to having to search aimlessly through Google, through books, trying to learn a new topic. So it makes you better, makes you more knowledgeable and broader in your scope and your ability to reach an audience. AI is not going to come around and replace your personality, replace your personal passion. It's going to be an assistant to you to continue to do that.
I fully agree. I think it's more a tool that you can use to actually have a better productivity, extend what you are doing, maybe work faster, and so free some time also to focus on tasks, activities that are more important for you. And again, it's not going to replace your personality. It's here to really help you and assist. That's really important. Yes, and I fully agree with you, David. That's the most important part here.
You remember in The Matrix when Keanu Reeves, first wakes up and what he finds out is reality, and they plug him in, and he's in this chair. He wakes up. I know kung fu. This is what AI is to you and to everybody in here. You have instant access to all knowledge known to man. It's up to you to decide what you want to use, what you want to learn.
Yeah, I think it's the personal creativity that you have to focus on because AI is accessible by everyone. So everyone is able to access the same AI, right? Being ChatGPT or Google or Microsoft, right? But what makes you stand out is still yourself, the human touch, right? On top of the generic tools you have, how do you adding on your personal creativity? I think that's something that I would suggest that you can more focus on.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, our speakers. And the metrics is actually a good example for this. And I believe that like the humanized story is still having the charm of it that your followers would love to see. I think we have come to our last questions to all the speakers. Is that okay? How do you envision the future with AI for the broadcaster and content creators? And what would be your final message to all of us on this stage, please?
So I'll pick one. I mean, there are many, right? And then you have given Dave multiple prediction. I'll pick one. It's hyper personalization. I really think in terms of content delivery, especially when we look at video streaming and OTT application, there is really an appetite from the audience and so from our customer media companies to deliver a very personalized experience. So using recommendation engine for VOD, it exists today, but also using that for the creation of linear channels that are personalized to the user. And today we are at a stage where you have global channels, you have regional channels, you have localization. We are not yet into the personalization per user, but we will get there. And artificial intelligence will really play a big role in that. So for me, the future of linear television, what sometimes we call linear 2.0, it's basically the hyper personalization. And definitely we will use artificial intelligence tool for that, yes, sir.
Yeah, I think just one sentence. I think AI today is no longer a if, but definitely it's a when. So just to encourage everyone starting to try today, I think the future is here.
Yeah, and AI is going to remove the mundane tasks. So use that time saving or whatever it is to expand and question.
Yeah, I just echo this. We've spoken of this, is that this is brand new technology. It's really powerful. You said, I think we both go back about the same number of years. We won't admit how many, but I was there when the first computer came into a company. Everybody was working off of mainframes. Overnight, my small department was the smartest department in the company. We had instant access to information. I could make bar charts, and others had to wait for mainframe time to print out a chart. Same type of thing. Those of us that are using this technology and getting adept at it will be the smartest people in the room. And one more thing, you talk about personalization. I think what's going to happen is automated personalization. Imagine watching a Premier League game on your TV set. You see something different on yours than I see on mine. I'm following my favorite player. You're following yours. Their uniforms are a different color. I've got Pepsi on my t-shirts. You've got Coca-Cola. It's going to be good for the viewers. It's going to be good for the advertisers. I mean, we have to make money at the end of the day. That degree of personalization is worth a lot. And I think that's going to be one of the huge changes.
I fully agree.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I have learned a lot from this session, and I believe our audience as well. If you have any more questions, we can bring it to the networking session. No? And thank you very much. I'll give the stage back to the MC.
All right, a round of
Thank you
applause to
very
our
much.
moderator and panel speakers. That was a very insightful and enriching discussion. And I hope you do not forget to take a snap of the QR code to get the summary of this session today. And I also want to remind everyone to please do not forget to scan this NFT QR code. It's also available at the entrance. These are tradable NFTs. And if you're able to scan all 8 NFTs from all 8 stages here at our event venue, then you'll get a chance to win a premium pass for next year's event. So please do scan this NFT QR code. Right. Thank you very much.